So
Okie
I can share it with Danielle and Ben, and sounds like maybe Toby wants to do some GIS too. So, okay, so this is sort of in lesson 2 with QGIS. So remind me what it is you've done, and with QGIS so far.
Okay, so what I have done is basically add a layer to the map and then go into the actual like data of that layer and basically like show what we want to show and do and like change it in certain ways and see what's going on within like the actual data set.
Okay. So do you remember which data set you downloaded?
Right now I have a Indiana bedrock geology data set.
Okay, good. Yeah, so that's what I have. I think that's the main thing I have with Indiana. I guess I've also got faults, and yeah, I've got faults too, but that's probably not not too much of a problem. So I think today what would be useful to do would be for us to, I mean, there's lots of potential information you can gather. So we haven't downloaded the soils map, is that right?
I have not, but I can pretty easily, I think.
So do you know how to do that? You remember how to do that?
Yes.
Here, why don't you share your screen with me, just so we have this on record, and you take me through then the steps you think you need to do to download the soils map.
All right, we're share screen. Share. Got it?
Perfect, there we go.
All right, so I'm gonna go to, I was just using this website.
Oh, interesting, okay.
But that's just where I've been getting stuff from.
Hey, that's great. I mean, not every state necessarily has something that's this easy, but so can you download? Oh, wow, yeah, there we go. Now, the thing that may be tricky about this, go ahead and go over to the download button. And let's just look at this. So, yeah, okay, so let's try the shape. Yep, let's try that. And the tricky bit will be, if that downloads a shape file for the entire state of Indiana, that'll be relatively large, but that's okay. Is it downloading?
It doesn't look like it. Let me go back to. Is it not? Does not seem to be downloading.
Well, so go click download again. Try the full data set thing. It's kind of great. Oh, I see. No, there's nothing there. Interesting.
Huh.
Well, does any of it work? Now you can do that GeoJSON. Yeah, click on that. You actually can download a GeoJSON file as well.
So just open that tab and.
Yeah, well, yeah, look in your download window for just a second. Just make sure that it's, yeah, go take your mouse over to the download box. Keep going to the right. No, to your right.
Oh.
The box with the, yeah, click on that for a second. Okay, yeah, so it doesn't look like anything's downloading yet. Okay.
That's curious. I don't know why that.
Try clicking on the data tab instead of the overview at the top there, the red data tab.
There we go. see what's going on in here.
I mean, this should be a relatively large, if you download the entire state, it's going to be relatively large.
Yeah.
These, yeah, not sure about these. Let's try the download again one more time. Okay.
Oh, I don't know why that wouldn't work, but
all right, so let's try this instead. So let's open up a new tab and go to the web soil survey. And I'll show you how to do it this way. Go ahead and start the WSS. This will do for kind of a smaller area. So let's go ahead and zoom into the area that we want in Indiana.
this is kind of my.
Okay, so go ahead and draw your area of interest in, make a box there. Okay, that's okay. It's just telling there are multiple surveys. You've got probably different counties in here.
Yeah.
But let's see. This might still work. So go ahead and go up to the tab that is soil units, soil map.
Soil map.
Okay, so at this stage now, if you go to the tab that says download soil data and scroll down, and you have to, so the first thing you have to do, once you've got your area selected, if you go to the lower right, there's a create download link.
Yep.
So click on that. And what this is going to do is it'll make a link that then will allow you to load a shape file that's got all those outlines. It doesn't have the full data from the data set. That's going to take a little more work to get. But this at least let you bring in the shape files. This is kind of a big area, so that may be why it's taken a little bit.
Yeah, I guess we could have chosen a smaller. I could have chosen a smaller area. But.
Yeah, don't worry. It takes a minute. It pulls the data, basically selects that data, and then it'll create a shape file, and then it'll give you a download link to click on. There you go. So now if you click on the download link, that zip file, the lower left.
Yep.
Yep. There you go.
All righty.
And there you can see the download button. Yeah, I don't know why that state, some states, the GIS data is easy to access. In other states, it's for some reason it's more difficult. I will try this later on as well for Indiana and see if I can't find a way to get that to download. Okay, so now you're done. So you can just drag that onto your, yeah, there you go. And you want, so for this, we want the spatial data. And we're going to want if you scroll down the bottom, we're going to want that bottom shape file. Yeah, that one right there. So go ahead and you're going to drag that. There you go. So now zoom in. Okay, so what this has done is this first shapefile actually, so this has got points. Let's go ahead and right mouse click on that layer and let's see what's in the data table.
Oops, sorry.
Yeah, so not this one. We don't want layer properties. So right mouse click and then go to data table, attribute table. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so this, yeah, so this table is just point features. So this might be points in the middle of the actual soil polygon. So at this stage, this isn't, we don't want this, or we don't need this.
Mm-hmm.
So go ahead and close this data table. Let's go look at your other shape files. So let's see. So let's try the soil. Oh, I see. That's soil points. Right. So try the soils F. Let's try that. And then we can also try the soils MU. Oh, actually, the soils MU, that's the one that's probably going to be polygons. My guess is that the A stands for, well, I'm not sure, but the L's stand for lines, the P stands for polygon, and the, so go to the shape file, yeah, that one. Let's drag that into QGIS and see. One of these shape files will have the, scroll out a bit. Okay, so it's not this one either. So let's keep looking. It'll be one of these files will have the polygons. But it's okay to download them all and just look at them to see what's in each one. But
I'm just trying to find it. There. No. There we go.
I guess, yeah, just go in order. It's probably not that one. That's the area of interest. So
That
the
one?
ones that say soil are one of those is the one we want. Oh, that's the one.
Ah.
Yeah.
And then we can go to our
Attribute table.
attribute table.
Okay, so these are the polygons, and these are the map symbols for the different soil units.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so now we can, if we want to color these, let's go ahead and let's get out of the table for a second. So just, yeah. And now we right mouse click on this again. And now we can go down to the properties. And go up to where it says single symbol. Yeah, and now we want, yeah, click on that. And we want to go to categorized. And then you have to click on the value. And we have to choose a value. In this case, we want the MU key. Actually, I think it may be MU symbol, sorry. Yeah, that one.
Mm-hmm.
And now you have to go down to the classify button. And what that's going to do is it's going to tell it to classify based on color. It's just using random colors, which is fine. In this case, the soils aren't, if you had data that was actually gradational data, then you might use a color ramp that's all the same color. But since this is, since these are just a bunch of discrete units, the random color works just fine. If you click apply at the bottom, now pull this this screen over just a little bit so you can see the map still. Yeah, so you can see what the colors look like now. So if you don't like this color scheme, you could click on the random colors and choose a different color scheme and hit apply. And you can basically stay in this menu and kind of search out whatever colors you want.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so go ahead and click on that for a second. Let's just try. So go to, yeah, you could make spectral, anything, doesn't matter. But click on that and now hit apply. And so if you use the apply button, you can kind of fiddle around a little bit in this window until you find the color you like. If you click OK, it shuts this window, and then you got to go back and open it if you don't like it.
Oh, okay.
So in some ways, using the apply button lets you sort of fiddle around until you get a color scheme that you like.
Huh.
Yeah. So the other thing we can do, let's scroll to the bottom. To grab the scroll bar and go to the bottom on the right side. So let's say that the all others, you see that, oh no, let's go to WK. Let's say for some reason we really want to be able to see WK.
Yeah.
If you click on the color box for WK and double click on it, now you can actually change it to whatever color you want.
Oh, okay. So like,
yeah, or you can make it a pattern. Yeah, click OK for a second and hit apply. And then let's pull over to look at your map here, see if we can figure out where that is. And we might have to zoom in to know where that is. Let's scroll up to the top here. Let's find that red color because it's pretty distinctive. So if we change that, yeah, maybe AD. Double click on that.
The Adrian Muck. Let's do that. Okay.
And apply. Yeah, there you go.
Oh, okay.
So you can customize. I mean, it's the great thing about GIS, and ArcGIS would be the same. You can customize this to whatever degree you want. You could go through and click on every one of these and give them your own custom symbol. If you see, like if you go down to CH, right? So what do you think the CH, B, C, and D, what does that mean?
Oh, I assume the B, C, and D are different, like gradient values.
Yep, exactly. Different slopes. So that's all one soil unit though, that whatever the CH soil series is. So like you might want all those to be the same color instead of gradational on a map like this, so it's easier to see.
Okay, yeah.
Or if you're making an overview map for a presentation and you just want to, at this scale, you want to highlight one unit that you really want to talk about, it's quite easy at this scale now. If you were talking about that WK unit or whichever unit, the AD unit, you could show a map at this scale and that unit would really be highlighted now because it really stands out. So a lot of the power of these GISs really is allowing you to not only analyze spatial data, but to find ways to really highlight and draw people's, so this is sort of basic cartography or map making, right? And when you're making a map, you have a purpose for making a map, and that purpose can be whatever you want. And if you don't, if you get into a place where you just want to start over, you can always go down, and if you click on delete all, go ahead and click that. So now everything's gone. Like you haven't lost the data, but just so now if you go back and hit classify again, so now you're started over. And actually this time it's applied because we had a different symbol selected. It's applied that to all of them. Go ahead and hit apply again. Let's see what happens.
Well,
yeah, so now you've colorized everything with the grid pattern.
It's kind of difficult to look at.
Yeah, that's not so great. Although, let's go ahead and say OK. And now let's zoom out a little bit on our map layer. And so this is OK. So at this scale now, you can see the geology and you can see the soils. And a fascinating thing about this is you can see, like, what is the diversity of soil compared to the diversity of bedrock?
Oh, pretty great.
Yeah. Yeah, so you've got, so just for now, in this case, there's something else going on though, right? Why do you think in part the soils are a lot more diverse than the bedrock?
I'm going to say because most of this is going to be glacial till right here.
Yeah. And so this is a bedrock map that they've made probably by looking at like drill holes that people have drilled for wells and stuff like that. So they know that this purple unit, whatever it is, probably a limestone, is the bedrock underneath the glacial till and the sediments on top. But in this case, for your soil and soil composition and soil properties, they may not have much to do with the bedrock.
Mhm.
Because if these soils are developed on glacial till, the glacial till is going to have a much greater diversity. Every stone in that till might be a different kind of rock. I mean, it's not all going to be different, but I mean, it might be much more diverse than the bedrock. So this is a great example of an area where the parent material is not the bedrock, the geologic bedrock in the area.
Mhm.
At least probably not everywhere. Okay. So now you know how to get the soil map data in.
Yep.
If we go back to that, let's go back to that folder with the data for a minute.
There we go.
Actually, and let's go up one directory. So get out of the spatial data. Just hit the arrow there. Yep. So you do have some other data. If you click on the tabular data and scroll down. So these are all text files that go with different types of attributes for the soil. So we could open these text files individually, and we could take these into a program like Microsoft Excel or another database, and we could actually have some more of the soil properties that we normally would find in the web soil survey. If you click back out of this again, use that, yeah. If you had a Microsoft Access database, for example, you could go to that MDB file that says execute, and you could actually open that in a database program, and then you'd have access to even more data.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know. Let's click on the thematic data. Yeah, for that. Let's just see what the file format is. Okay, they don't have anything in here. So anyways, you can use the spatial data as a thing that's quick and easy to grab. You've got the soil outlines. You could label the polygons with those soil identifiers. And then you could start to use some of the tabular data if you wanted. But for this lesson, let's go ahead and go back to QGIS. And let's zoom in on your soils, that soil box. So another thing that's useful on a map at this scale, let's go ahead and let's turn off the other layers we're not using. Yeah, those two. And now it also would be convenient to actually show labels for the different soil units, right? So go ahead and click on, let's go back to this, this is properties. So the next thing you can do, there's a pretty straightforward, if you just go down to the label button, it's right below symbology. What we did when we colorized the polygons, that's called symbology. So go to the left, the far left there, and go up to symbology.
Oh, there it is, sorry.
And click on labels. And now click on where it says no labels, click on that. And now we want to use single labels. And then go up to the value at the top there. And we can go back to that MU SYM, that's our symbol, click on that. And now if you hit apply, so now if you look at the map, you can see it looks very similar to the map we see in Web Soil Survey.
Yep.
But again, the nice thing about having this in QGIS is you have total control. So you can choose from one of 1,000 different fonts. You can use bold, regular, italics. You can change the size. You can change the color. You can make them partially opaque. So you have total control over how the information is presented visually. So for example, it might be that maybe the color on this would be a little bit better if the font was white. So if you go down to the color box, click on that and go to standard colors, say white, and hit apply. Yeah, maybe that's no better actually. Black maybe is better. But the bottom line is you have total control. You can even do things like you can format it. You can make buffers around it so that the text kind of shows up no matter what's behind it. You can change the placement if you want the titles to be a certain distance from the polygon, or you want them in the middle of the polygon, or you want them offset. The sky's the limit. I mean, basically you have total control. So go ahead and click OK again. Okay, so now you got your soils map in, you got your soil polygons labeled. And so that's kind of the first basic step now to being able to start to do some analysis with your soil data. Let's do, it's 10:27. Let's do 2 more things.
All right.
So the first thing is, be useful to have some more information, right? So we can actually do calculations on the polygons. Once you draw a polygon, because you're in a spatial reference, the polygon is situated in space. And so that makes it really easy to do some things like calculate the area of the polygons. Okay. So if you, to do that, we have to go to the attribute table. And now in this attribute table, we can actually add new columns of information. So click on that. Click on that. So you have to be in editing mode. So click once on that. So now we can actually edit the table. And there's a lot, you gotta be a little bit careful because editing means you can delete things.
Yeah.
But you can always, whatever you do to this file or this table, when you're in the QGIS mode, it's not actually saving that to the original table until the very end. And so you can always, if you have a data table you're worried about messing up, you can always just make a copy of it with a different name. But you also, QGIS is keeping track of the changes you're making to this soil mu AOI file, but it's not actually rewriting the original file at this stage. So, again, you can just put the cursor over any of the little icons at the top and it'll give you an idea what they do. So, yeah, go up to the toolbar at the top there. Right, so that lets you, that's multi-edit mode. You can save your changes there. You can copy and paste features. Yeah, there's all kinds of things you can do. There's lots of power to search through this data in the data table. But if we want to add something, go over to the little abacus type symbol. Keep going to the right. Yeah, that one. So this is the field calculator. And this is a really useful tool. So if you click on that, this actually is going to let you create a new field. So that's a useful thing might be the area of these soil polygons, right? So let's go ahead and create a field for area. So you have to give the output field name. Go ahead and click in, type area in the box that says output field name.
Okay, right there.
Yep. Let's say area, and probably we'll calculate the area in acres maybe to start off with. So put parentheses and type in acres so that we know what the units are. It could be square meters, could be square feet, could be hectares, whatever you want. But for now we'll do acres and close parentheses there.
It's for some reason not doing it.
Oh, so we may be output field length.
I can just acre.
Yeah, there we go. And now the output field type, we don't want this to be an integer, right? Because we want, it's going to be a decimal number, right? So go ahead and go to decimal number. But it's important because you can also, you see those automatic formats. You can actually, you can make new fields that are text fields. You can make new fields they can be integer fields. They can be date formats. You got lots of options. You can change the precision. You can control, what the output field length is, all those things. So if you go down now, you see where it says show help? Right in the middle? No. Yeah, right in the middle of the screen. Go up a bit more, go up a bit more.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah, okay. So if you have questions, you can always click on that. But also right below the show help, there are a bunch of canned functions. So if you go down, for example, to geometry.
There it is.
And click on the little arrow to open that up. So now there's a whole bunch of canned calculations. If you double click on that area, the $sign area, so it tells you on the right what this function does. So this is gonna, it tells you how it's gonna calculate the area. And in this case, we'd have to know what the units, the base units are. So I'm not sure if this may end up being square meters. We'll have to go back and see what units we have set for the projection we're using. But you can always do conversions, as well, if you want to convert the area to some other unit.
Yeah.
So if you just hit OK, now you just calculate the area of all those polygons.
Let's see if we can.
And yeah, so that's sorted. So that's this MN. There's only we'll have to go and check and see what the units are. MN is tiny, but
Yeah.
you can now you can scroll through and you can see what units are the biggest or smallest. You could also now anything we add to this data table, once we save the edits, we can then go back when we're doing our color scheme. And now you could colorize these units based on size. So anything you're doing to the attribute table, that now becomes information that you can use functionally. So go ahead and let's go down to properties. And yeah, so now let's say let's go to symbology, and let's delete all these, and let's go up to value.
Okay, value.
And let's go to that. And now we, instead of categorized, we can do it categorized, but this might be better for gradational. So go up to the upper there, and go to graduated. And yeah, we can let's see. We should be able to get rid of that actually. Yeah, go to configure symbol for a second. And yeah, go up to a simple line. Yeah, or any of these things down below. Yeah, you can click these and it should get us out of.
Or
yeah, we need to go to the fill probably. Yeah, go down to below favorites there, go up a bit, and let's go to the, choose the blue outline maybe. There we go. And then you can go to the, yeah, where it shows color there, you can click on that, make it black or whatever color you want, doesn't matter.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
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 Now the next thing we do, we also we have to classify again. And we have a couple of different ways we can classify, but go ahead and hit let's see what it gives us. Okay, so this shows you that these are the values that it sort of naturally wants to break things up into. So if you hit apply, and so now you've colorized these based on those line colors, and the line colors are based on different sizes.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so that's actually a little bit clunky. We'd have to play around with this a little bit to get it look good. But this is just kind of showing you the functionality. And the most important point here is once you've got polygons, because the polygons are spatial, now you can go in, you can calculate the area. You can calculate the perimeter. There's all kinds of different calculations you can do. And as soon as you do a calculation, you can save that calculation to the data table, and now you can analyze that information. So yeah, let's go ahead and I can see under the map there, you can still see the attribute table. So click on that. Yeah.
It's not.
Oh, you may have to. You probably have to close the symbology thing. So go ahead and click OK. Yeah, now click on the attribute table and hit the save button, because that go up to the top there, hit that. So now we've saved that area calculation in case we want it. Okay, so that's another really fundamental part of a GIS. It has a database behind it that allows you to do analysis and generate your own data. The last thing we have time to go over here quickly is I also want to show you how to draw a polygon.
Okay.
So go ahead and let's close the attribute table. Actually, you got another attribute table up back there. Let's go ahead and get that closed too.
Where is that? Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
It's getting kind of.
Yeah, just to kind of keep it neat and tidy. So let's say, for example, you wanted to box out an area of interest of your own here. So you can make your own points, lines, polygons, or even things they call multi-polygons. And the procedure is all basically the same. And sometimes, like, you might use this if you had an air photo that you downloaded and you wanted to go and outline different farm fields or buildings, because as soon as you trace an outline of something in a GIS, that outline has spatial attributes. So you can go in and calculate perimeter, area, just like we've just done. So you could be looking at historic aerial photos, and you could be tracing areas of cropland from the 1960s that have been converted now to, an industrial park or whatever. So this is a basic tool for doing what we call land classification. But you also, might want to draw your own polygons, your own lines to symbolize the map for whatever purpose you have. So in QGIS, to do that, there's a kind of a simple procedure. So the first thing we have to do is we have to make essentially a new shape file that we're going to then add data to. So if you go up to View, and then go over to Layer. So we want to create a new layer. So if you go to create a new layer, and now you have a bunch of different options. And what we want to create is so you can do a geopackage or a shape file. A geopackage in some ways is actually the preferred type of file to make, as opposed to a shape file. So for new, even though we're going to use shape files from other people's data, when we make our own files, we're going to make geopackage layers.
Okay.
So go ahead and click on that.
Oops.
Yeah, sorry, that's okay. Get rid of that. Yep.
Create layer.
Okay, so now there's a bunch of things we have to do. If this is going to be a new database, so click in that first folder, and so we're going to type a name in there. But yeah, go to where you just were, to the 3 little dots on the right. Click on that, and so this allows us to figure out where we're going to save this. So
Okay.
I would suggest you have some sort of a folder where you put all your information.
All right.
So figure out, you want to think about where this is. Obviously, it's going to put it on in your home file there, but
Yeah.
you can make, this is a place where like you could make a new folder or whatever where you're going to put all your data. Because with GIS, the critical thing is you always want all your data in the same place, because every time you open the main project file, if you've moved folders in and out, then the project file won't know where to look to get the data from time to time. So let's we can just do this is let's do AOI test. Let's call it that.
AOI test.
And go ahead and save that.
Save.
Okay, so now this is showing you where that's stored. It's users, Odin Bool's AOI test. It's giving you a table name, so that's fine. You can change it if you want, but that's fine. Now, the geometry is the next thing that's important, so click on that. And for this, so here's where you could add points, you could add lines, you can add all of these different things. We're going to start off adding a polygon. That's kind of one of the most common things. It already is going to, it says that the data right now is this WGS 84. That's the projection. That's the projection that the whole project is in right now. You can change it if you want, if you know that there's a different projection you want, but you can also leave it. You can always go back and change a projection.
Yeah.
So that's okay. Now you can go and you can actually name. It's going to create a field, and so your first field, you can give it a name, and say you can call this test polygons. And text data is fine, although you could give it whatever kind of attribute you want there, but this should be fine. So go ahead and say okay. Okay, so now you've created your first geopackage file, and you can see it. You can see it on it adds it automatically to the layers. And now, if we want to edit this and actually do something with it, you always have to go up to the pencil, click on the single pencil, and that opens the file for editing. So click once on that. Okay, so now we can edit this file. And there's nothing in the file right now, but we have a lot of options for things we can do. So what kind of file did we say we wanted this to be? What's the geometry?
Yeah, geometry.
What is the geometry?
I don't know.
Is it a point? Is it a line?
Oh, polygon.
Yeah, it's a polygon. So that means we're going to be drawing polygons.
Yeah.
So go ahead and go to the pencil symbol, and then go 2 over, and you see that little polygon. So click on that, and now go to your map. And now you see that symbol. Go ahead and draw a square. Click in 4 spots. And then double click when you're done. And say okay. And now let's go over to AOI test and right mouse click on it. And go down to attribute table. And you've got one thing in your attribute table. So you've got a polygon now stored in that table.
Okay.
So close the table and just quickly draw 3 or 4 more polygons, any size, anywhere, it doesn't matter. And they don't have to be squares. They can be whatever shape you want. But just quickly, let's populate our okay, so that's enough. So go ahead and click on the edit button again. Sorry. So click on the, now you want to click on the just to the right of the edit button, click on the little disk drive to save this. And now click on the pencil to stop editing. And now let's go to the attribute table again. So now you got 4 polygons. So now you show me how you're going to add, how you're going to calculate the area of these polygons.
Okay, so I'm going to go here, go to, I'm going to name my field area, I don't know, acre,
You got to double click on that. So you see that box where it just wrote the area?
uh-huh.
You always have to have something in there or you'll just get blank, a row of blanks.
Then okay.
Yep. And there you go. You just calculate the area of all those polygons.
Oh, sweet.
And now you could also go, you could go to symbology, just like we did before, and you could color, you know, you only got, you know, one set of attributes, but if you go down to properties, you can give these boxes all the same color. You could make them just outlines, but since you have data in the attribute table, you could also say that you want to color these based on their identification number, and that would just make them 4 different colors. So go up to single symbol at the very top.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Yes.
So go click on that menu. Go to categorize.
Oops, I clicked on the wrong thing again.
You gotta go tell it to classify. Sorry, tell it the value first.
Value, we're going area, and then color ramp, random colors, okay.
You gotta classify.
Oh, do I have to
Right?
classify?
Yeah, there you go. Now hit apply.
Now apply.
And now look at your map.
Some nice pretty shapes.
Yeah. So I mean, this is just kind of random, right? But these are the tools. So now you know how to add a polygon. And if you wanted, you could add a bunch of points. If you had like GPS locations, you could go and find those locations by moving your mouse around till you get to a specific GPS point, and then you could add a point feature there. If you wanted to draw a bunch of lines, you could draw lines and you just use a geopackage file that's got a line geometry instead. So now you know how to do calculations with the data table. We've reviewed how to add shape files, and you know how to make polygons. So at the basic level now, you can go and generate, you can start generating, you know, your own data. It's just sky's the limit. You just have to think about what it is you want to do, what kind of information you want. So maybe next week, because I got another student meeting here in a couple minutes. What we'll do next week maybe is I'll show you, well, it depends on how you're coming with your project, and we should be focused on data for your project. But one of the other things that I can show you is there's a place online where you can go and download satellite images, sometimes air photos, and a bunch of other information. And if we had a satellite photo to put on here, then you could You could put the soil outlines above a satellite photo, for example, and then you could go in and see, you know, you could select individual polygons and see which polygons are the best soils for growing wheat. And then you could do an analysis and say, well, you know, based on my most recent satellite image, are we using all the best wheat soils to grow wheat? Or are they using it to have a hog farm? Or are they using it to put, you know, Walmarts or whatever?
Yeah.
But with the satellite image, it comes in just as basically a picture, but it's also a spatially oriented picture. So if you trace things like these polygons on top of an air photo, you'll still get the spatial data, and then you can go and, like I said, you could trace every farmhouse as a polygon, make that into a geo-package layer, trace the polygons, and then immediately calculate the area of buildings that are on a farm or in a certain area or on a certain soil type.
Huh, yeah.
So GIS is hugely useful, but because the limits are few, it really requires some thought to kind of get an outline of what it is you exactly want to do to make sure that you don't waste too much time. On the other hand, at this stage, it's also useful now you've got a little bit of data. You know, you go into these different menus and just play around with the data. Figure out how you want to custom make the map. You can change the labels. You don't have to have labels. You can do, you know, play around with the abacus thing for the field calculator, see what other things you can calculate based on having those polygons.
Yeah.
Okay, so is that enough for one morning?
Yeah, that's good. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, and you can always email me with questions. If you start playing around,
Yeah.
you're going to look for other stuff. I mean, you see me 3 days a week anyway.
Yeah.
But you can always email me with questions, and I can hop on Zoom or just send you a quick email. But you know, that's really some of the most fundamental things, right? We talked about projections a little bit last time, but basically, once you understand how to change and control the different projections, so if you're in UTM, latitude, longitude, etc., and you know how to bring data in, and you know how to calculate data that's in an attribute table, and now you know how to basically make your own attributes by adding lines, polygons, points, etc. So there's lots of other complicated things you can do, but like this gives you the basic power to go in now and do a lot of your own work, right? You have just generated primary data by making these 4 polygons.
Yeah.
No one's ever drawn these 4 polygons before, probably. and you may never draw them again. You may not find a use for them. But I mean, it's as simple as that. Like once you know how to use a few tools, you can get this in, you know, and you get some data into the GIS, you're away to the races. You're doing your own, you know, you have a research question and then you're generating your own new data.
Uh-huh. Oh. Lots of possibilities.
Yeah. Okay. Anyways, that's enough for today. I got this, this is being recorded, so I'll get this up on the YouTube channel, so you can go back and review as well. And I appreciate you going through this because you'll help Danielle and Ben and Toby and maybe other students hopefully can get on here and sort of follow through the steps that you're doing so they can start to get caught up with some basic GIS stuff too.
Perfect. All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to get out of share screen mode here and
share.
yeah, I think we're good to go. So I will see you tomorrow morning.
See you later.
Yep,
Thank
have
you.
a good day. See you, Odin.